The U.S. Army is facing what could be one of the largest abuse scandals in its history. CBS News is investigating the case of an Army doctor who is accused of sexual misconduct. His name is Major Michael Stockin. He faces allegations from 42 male patients who say he has abused their trust. Jonathan Bigliotti sat down exclusively with two of the alleged victims whose identities we are not revealing. Speaking publicly for the first time, they say that this doctor, instead of healing them, left them with very deep wounds. We should warn you this story may be triggering in language and in its content.
CBS News has obtained these videotaped interviews made by the Army's Criminal Investigation Division.
He said, "No, I need you to drop trial."
I'm thinking to myself, like, what the hell is this for? And I'm here for my neck.
Disturbing accounts by victims of alleged sex crimes, whose identities we concealed.
It's definitely not normal. I feel like a victim.
They detail claims of sexual abuse at the hands of their doctor, Major Michael Stockin, a pain management anesthesiologist at Washington State's Joint Base Lewis McChord. According to the charging documents obtained by CBS News, Stockin faces over 50 counts of sexual misconduct that spans more than 2 years while treating 42 patients, all of them men.
I trusted Dr. Stockton.
We sat down with two of Stockin's accusers, patients who saw him at Madigan Army Medical Center, who are sharing their stories publicly for the first time. They asked to speak anonymously out of fear of retaliation.
He would take a knee, and that's where he would kind of conduct his examination. Everything was pretty much mid-calf to waist level.
When you say waist, you mean groin?
Groin area, yes.
Myself and Dr. Stockton were left alone in the room. He first checked my shoulders, and then he asked me to stand up. Dr. Stockton, he was face level with my groin, and he started touching my genitals.
You went in for a long-standing chronic issue of shoulder pain. What is the doctor doing inspecting you in an area down there near your groin?
Exactly. I was very confused.
Both men, now retired, each spent more than 20 years in the Army, both completing 3 combat tours.
Even with my wife, I couldn't bring myself to talk through what happened to her. It just felt very uncomfortable.
In the military, there's a term to put what happens to you inside your duffel bag, shove it down, and continue to march on. So I was willing to do that. I was willing to shove it into my duffel bag and march on.
Stockin's alleged pattern of behavior calls to mind the chilling details of infamous USA Gymnastics doctor Larry Nassar, who preyed on patients under the guise of treatment. In this case, patients say they also tried to give the doctor, an Army major, the benefit of the doubt.
Being in the military at the time for 19 years, I trusted the medical doctor I was seeing.
I think there are victims out there that might not even know they're victims.
The scale of the case is historic, according to their attorney, Ryan Gildes.
We're aware of cases like the gymnastics case. We're aware of cases where medical professionals have abused trust. That's not unique to the military. But the scope and scale of it, for a doctor to have been alleged to have abused that trust for so very many victims, is unprecedented.
How many potential victims are we talking about
Hundreds.
in this case?
I'm convinced it's hundreds.
Male service members are much less likely to report sexual assault than their female counterparts, according to the Defense Department. Gildes, who is representing 7 of Stockin's accusers pro bono, says the Army failed to support victims.
It's the actions that matter. And these unforced errors in failing to care for our survivors undermines the credibility of the Army and is a real shame.
The Army told CBS News that the investigation will remain open through trial, and it will further investigate should additional victims come forward. In the meantime, Stockin has been suspended from patient care. In a statement to CBS News, Stockin's lawyer stated that his client is presumed innocent, adding this legal fight is just getting started. Both men we spoke with intend to share their story again at the court-martial, scheduled to begin in October.
It's emotional. It's not something I'm used to. I can deal with a lot of things. I can deal with anger, I can deal with combat, but emotions and things like that, it's personal.
And all of these charges relate to Stockin's time in Madigan Army Medical Center, but the investigation is ongoing. Stockin had previously been assigned to duty stations in Maryland, Hawaii, and Iraq. If convicted, he faces a maximum sentence of more than 300 years in prison, Vlad.
Horrific details, Jonathan, and we commend those soldiers for speaking out
I
about
was going to say the same thing, admire and applaud them for speaking out because, A, you know it's painful, it's very personal, and you also feel you do trust your doctors. When I go to see the doctor, I automatically assume he or she knows more than me about whatever I'm coming to see.
And that's in the civilian world. So now you take that, the trust of doctors, and you add the military chain of command, which is the bedrock of the military.
Yeah.
This superior officer, this guy is a major. He is also a doctor.
Right.
So you've got that
You
exacerbation.
should be stuffing this kind of pain into your duffel bag, to use that metaphor, which is a fantastic one. A lot of men, that'll resonate with them. I hope justice is done in this case.
Yes.
Jonathan, thank you again for that reporting. Thank you.